Thank you for having a look at Author. I'm Frode Alexander Hægeland, the designer of Author. We've been working so hard for the last 6 months on this, so there's a lot of new things and there are some core things that I really would like you to be aware of. First one probably is the escape key. Allows you to go in and out of full screen, not just out of full screen. So that can be quite useful to get you in a focused reading mode and back out again. It's really, really important that you're familiar with and comfortable with the context menu, which you can access through control click or on a trackpad 2-finger click. Here you'll find many commands, some of which we'll go through today. And please notice that next to the commands, the keyboard shortcut equivalents are there, so that after a while you can get used to the keyboard shortcuts and do things a lot faster. If you do control click without selecting text, you get a different set of options, including things like dictation, which can be quite useful. Author is designed for people who really care about their tools. Personally, I come from a photography background, and with photography we do all kinds of lenses and cameras and Lightroom and all of that stuff. The expectation is that you will want to do at least some of that. So bottom right here, settings, starting with a link to the video you're watching now, the ability to set the appearance, and a few other things are available. The appearance is quite important because by default it's a warm tone, as you see here. And it's something that's important because we all have different ideas of what the text should be when we're writing, but it's not just that. It's also that when we do different functions, such as if we're editing, then we may want the text to be very contrasty and also go down to line spacing, make that really wide, really big, so that we can read in a different way. So let's go back to the default. And the default, and no, I'm not going to go through all of these options, but I do want to tell you that you can specify who you are here for export plus for AI, so that the prompt includes this when it's sent to Ask AI, meaning ChatGPT. None of this is taken by us or anyone else. That's important. This is where you can edit the prompts for AI, and then you have many options for the different kinds of views. So while you're writing, one of the functions Author has is a focus mode, which is quite common. There is a difference, however, between how Author does it and other software. It is based not on sentences or paragraphs, but as you can see here, on sections. Sections being defined by whatever heading is above the cursor. That's what will be not faded out. So let's go out of focus mode, and I want to talk to you about how to make those headings. Oops, I went back by mistake, so it's easy to fix. So I am now going to use a keyboard shortcut to make that normal text and show you how to make it heading. Control click, heading, heading level 1, command 1. The keyboard shortcut I used was command 0 to go out of it. So now we have headings, which is useful for that and many other things. I come from a very visual background, as I said, photography and all of that good stuff. So for me, it's really important that the text is more visual, so my eye has more to grab onto. However, a lot of text isn't accepted to be very visual, especially academic text. So I have a few features for that. One of them is marked text, which you can find here, command single quotes. The idea with that is that as you're writing, there may be something in a paragraph that really says what it's about, but you need all the other text to help the reader flow through. So if you mark the text, by default, when you export, that text will be a normal color, whatever that is. The opposite of that is writing a comment that is private to yourself, which you get from doing command shift single quotes. That is by default not exported. If we go to export, by the way, let's say to PDF, please ignore all of these good things. This is where you can choose how these things are dealt with. If you want to use bold to highlight and not export, you can even automatically have that checked. So one of the cool things about that is this works together of different levels of resolution, different views, semantic zooming, whatever you want to call it. So if you click on outline here at the middle, you'll see that marked text appears normal, not orange like it is in the normal, reading view. But you can see it in the outline, and comments stay red because they are really getting your attention. If I now move my cursor across this, only what I'm pointing at is highlighted. Now in the outline, when I've clicked on it, it opens up to show Now in the outline, when it opens up, it also has a section for keywords. So if I click on that, then it's automatically generated keywords, some of them color, some of them black and white, which you'll learn more about later, and also citations. There aren't many here, this is just the user guide. So I go back to write mode. So now you've seen how you can make a heading, mark text, make private comments, go into an outline to see just that. Navigating a document, you can do things like do the find, which of course, as with most systems, you do find in document with Command F. The way it works in Author, it shows you only the paragraphs with that text. So now you can click to jump to it, or you can do escape, Command F to go back out. This is useful if you've written something and you can't remember if you've written it before or where else it is in your document. So that's kind of cool. You can also link to documents in Author. So you do Command-Shift-D or link document, choose whatever it might be, and it appears as a link. If you click on it, opens straight away. This is the image that I used for the App Store, by the way, the text. So you can also define concepts for thinking. I'll just get straight into it. So Edgar Hegland, my son, Command-D for define. I write he is my son, and I can choose entirely optional, he's a person. So if I now go to map, these are things that I have made earlier. Edgar Hegland appears here, and there's there's a line going straight from him to me, because in the definition, there's my name. If I do something like PDF, I don't know why I would do that, but then it will also be a line to PDF. The idea behind this is to help you see how things connect and to see what's missing. It may be that you put a lot of things over here, and by the way, the reason, let me just get rid of the PDF. The reason you would assign is partly so you can see people are italic and things like that, like your signature. So it should help you see connections. It should also help you see what is missing. This is entirely fun for you to play around with your ideas in a small or big document. And when you export, this can be exported as a glossary automatically. All you do is just choose to have this option checked here, and then you have yourself a glossary. So AI, of course, Author has to have AI. It's not only fashionable, it's also useful, but it's really important to highlight AI is not here in Author to help you get your work done without thinking. Writing is thinking, and writing and thinking is hard when you write properly and you don't just spew something out. So we're trying to have the AI help you think, not do the thinking for you. That was maybe not the best way to say that, but I hope you understand, and I'll show you how. We have Ask AI from the toolbar down here. If you select text and then you run Ask AI, it'll do it on that selected text. I'm just going to randomly do this, actually. I haven't tried that. So choose a prompt called Spark Imagination, and I'll go to the settings and show you how that is built. Here's the prompt. You can go to Edit. This is the prompt. You can edit it to your heart's content. If you have this option set, then it'll take into account who you said you are. These three columns, by the way, writing, that means it'll be here in the writing view. You can also have it copy and in the map that you saw. Not a lot of them are relevant in the map. That's why it's a separate column. So here you get the prompt, says all kinds of stuff, sometimes very, very useful, very often not useful at all. That's AI. Now, you can also do something, if I just copy this kind of randomly, there is an option to do paste processed. So that would be insert processed. So what it does, it takes the text you had, which you may have copied from a PDF, and you may have copied it from the web, and it pastes it in and it cleans it up. Now it did it so well that I can't actually see where it was. But obviously that was just copying from Author. But then there's the opposite. This is the one referred to here, copy. So copy keywords. Now it goes through whatever you selected, and it finds the keywords. And then in a second, we will get a ping. And if I now click here and normal paste, these are the keywords extracted from that. I think that is pretty cool, depending on the work you're doing. And as you can see, there are many options. Of course, you can do normal copy. You can edit these. You can write a custom one at any time. Magic margins. are in the side, and by default they disappear after 4 seconds. Well, they don't disappear, they hide. But let me get it back. So when you scroll up and down, it'll stay there. This is also integrated with Author for iOS, or rather it will be quite soon. So you can write notes about, oh, for this document I have to do this and that. Citing is all based on Command T. So let's add a citation here. All of that stuff just means that whatever I copied last is in here. That was a bit much. So for this example, I'm going to go to books, Tom Standage, Future of Technology, all kinds of good stuff with the citation, and boom, here it shows. Now, if I go to settings, I can do things under appearance. By default, it's shown author date. Actually, before I do that, I'll show you the export. You can choose to have it author date or hard brackets or whatever you prefer on export. But if you go to settings, I'm going to move this across, you can do things like title or an initial and date. Now it shows the title of the document and not author date because it's more useful. You can also do things like this. I'm writing and I don't know what I want to write. I do Command T again. It's like this, needs a citation on HCI, for instance. And I click placeholder and I get this thing here, double brackets. If I click on it, it opens this again. I can now turn it into a proper citation by searching papers or books. And as you kind of saw before, if I now go to citations here, it shows up here. So I know where I have citations to do. Cuttings is kind of cool. It's supposed to reduce your stress when cutting. So if I cut this, and then now I cut this, normally everything I had cut before would be gone. But with cuttings, which is here, which is Control V or in the context menu, it shows you everything you've cut and haven't pasted. So you can choose to just double click and insert it. That wasn't very useful. Dictate we talked about, it's pretty standard, but I think it's very cool because it really can help you if you don't want to type a lot. I want to highlight also that if you are watching this using Author Basic, which is free, the only thing you're missing is the ability to export. If you do upgrade to Author, which I think will be great, of course, then you can still open all your old documents. You haven't lost anything, but now you have the ability to export. And finally, this is part of the future of text work that we're doing. We're interested in the fact that we feel that text holds thought, and how we interact with our knowledge through text is important. So if you want to join us, please search for the Future of Text online. We hold a symposium, we hold many meetings, we publish books. This is literally putting our money where our mouth is, developing in this software so that we can actually try different approaches. We're also working with XR/VR through different ways of displaying, reading, and authoring. So thank you for having the patience to go through this rambling introduction. I have done before some more clean introduction videos, but they always get a bit messy because we keep developing things. And this is just the raw introduction from me, the developer. I hope you like it. If you have any issues, please send me an email. Thank you.